My name's Dr. Sauer, and I help people fix the root cause of their disease instead of masking symptoms. And I've helped thousands of clients do this in the past and looking forward to not stopping anytime soon. And today I would like to talk about brain fog because this is something that I used to struggle with. I know a lot of people struggle with this brain fog. And so what I'd like to do is really just kind of walk you through, number one, what it is, what are some common triggers that I found to that affected me, really what's going on inside of the brain, and how I was able to abolish and completely eliminate brain fog from my life, because it really impacted me once I started realizing what it was and the fact that it wasn't normal to experience brain fog. So let's start off. What is it first? Well, first I had to know that I actually had it. I didn't know that it was not normal to really check out, not just simply mentally, but also emotionally, and not having any physical energy in the afternoon. I just thought that was a normal part of aging. And I was in my early 20s when I was really struggling with this brain fog. And and so when I first heard about the term, I was in chiropractic college, and it was just, like one of those fringe students that was really into health and nutrition. He's kind of crazy. And he said that he was doing coffee enemas, shoving coffee up his butt to help out with his brain fog. Now I thought that was maybe a little extreme. Like there's probably a better way to help out with brain fog. And honestly, when he said that he struggles with brain fog, I was also struggling with brain fog. I didn't realize it, and I just thought he was being a pansy. Honestly, it's like, come on, you're an American, you're a guy, tough it up, Buttercup. Like you can do this. But then, as I started learning more and more about the brain, it's like, oh, it's not normal to not to be able to not follow a conversation with your friend. Like that's not normal. There's something wrong when in the middle of a conversation with someone you don't remember what the topic of the conversation was. That would happen to me on a regular basis. I would forget classmates' names that I had talked to for 2 years and I had known them. I would not be able to think my way through a very simple problem. I would forget, I'd pick up my phone, forget why I picked up my phone. I'd lose my keys. I was unmotivated. And I recognized, oh my gosh, this actually is a problem. It's affecting me. It's impacting my energy levels, my relationships. It was impacting the ability to actually connect with my wife. I would get home from school and she'd want to talk and have a conversation. And I was also struggling with depression at the time as well, and I didn't realize that either. And that's a topic for another video. But with the brain fog, I just didn't really want to engage, didn't want to talk, and all we did was we just simply ended up watching TV, or she'd want to go on a walk or a bike, and then I just just kind of checked out because what was happening is my brain simply wasn't functioning. You see, brain fog is where there's you have neurotransmitters, you have brain hormones inside of your brain. They're called neurotransmitters, and brain fog is when your brain is so sick that those neurotransmitters in your brain literally starts to shut down. So in the middle of the afternoon after lunch, when you're like, I would just want to take a nap, that is your brain literally shutting down. And that's where you experience brain fog, where you forget what you're doing, you're not paying attention to conversations, you can't think your way through common problems, you can't remember names, your word recollection isn't really there. It's a struggle to come up with words just off the top of your mind, and that's what brain fog is going on. And the main hormone that's being affected is a hormone called acetylcholine. So acetylcholine, it helps with mood, it helps with memory, it helps with thinking through problems, and something called executive function. And it's really located right here in the frontal lobe of the brain, in the front part of your brain. It's all over, but that's where the executive function happens. And so with the brain fog, it's going to directly impact your acetylcholine, which then causes your brain just to shut down, thus causing the brain fog. So that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just kind of disassociated with your body. Your head's in the clouds. You're not really in full control of your body. You really just simply want to exist, and you don't feel like you're in solid control of your emotions, of your words, of the things that you say. The things that you say don't make sense, and it can make you feel really self-conscious about having a conversation, because you don't know if the words that are going to come out are going to sound foolish, if it's going to actually make sense. And that can really lead to a lack of confidence, which is the start of a lot of disease processes. Because when you're dealing with some of these health challenges, whether it be brain fog or inflammation or lack of energy or depression, it eats away at your confidence and thus impacts your quality of life. And that's really what we're after. We're after not just simply getting rid of the brain fog, but we're chasing a higher quality of life. And so that's what was going on. Now, common triggers that I recognized that was causing the brain fog for me, it was gluten. Gluten was the number one. And now in hindsight, I'm not 100% certain if it was actually the gluten, if it was the glyphosate that was being sprayed on the gluten that was causing some of the problems, or if it was maybe how many carbs and the volume of carbohydrates I was actually eating. And in hindsight, it was probably a combination of all three. Now, I've been gluten free for 12 years. I don't eat nearly the number of carbohydrates that I used to. The glyphosate that gets into my body is minuscule. It is just tiny amounts because we live in an industrial area. It's bound to happen. But getting those chemicals, getting the carbohydrates, getting the gluten and the glyphosate out of my body was really step number one at helping balance out the blood sugar and stabilizing the energy all throughout the day, the mental energy. And the next one is sugar. So getting rid of gluten, that eliminated the sugar from a lot of highly processed carbs, which automatically brought a lot of my blood sugars down. But then I also recognized that I was eating a lot of candy. I was getting a lot of sweets and desserts in, and this was a hard thing to really cut and get out of my life was all of the candy and the sweets and the sugars because I had these cravings. And so the first step was gluten. That lasted 6 months to a year. And then I got rid of the candy and the sweets and all of the desserts that I was eating. I still eat dessert, don't get me wrong, but it's not at the volume that I used to consume. So it was getting the sugar out of my life, and that really helped out. Number one, with the sugar cravings, but it got me off of this blood sugar roller coaster that I was riding where I would eat something, and then all of a sudden my blood sugars would spike. I'd feel fine. And then 2 hours later, the blood sugars would crash, and I would just again get into this brain fog where my brain just simply wouldn't work. And I was, you're trying to talk yourself up. You're like, come on, buddy, let's get it together. And yet the brain just simply wasn't functioning. It felt like the brain was skipping. Now, the last one, and this one I started implementing really just up until about 2, 3 years ago. And this was seed oils. I fixed most of my brain fog. I was going gluten free, a lot less carbohydrates, got rid of the sugar, drank my water, 50% of water. I'm sorry, take your weight, divide it in half. That's the amount of ounces that is oftentimes recommended. It's kind of the gold standard for how much water you should drink on a daily basis. So that's what I started doing, making certain that my brain and my body is properly hydrated. And then the last one was seed oils. And this was a huge player. Now, I think you should also, something that is really a wake up call to me is how much the food industry is trying to quell or silence everybody speaking out against seed oils. That should be a lesson. If there's someone who's really resistant to a message, that means that number one, they're either making a lot of money or there's something else that's going on. And I have spoken out against seed oils, like I said, for 2, 3 years, and because this was a huge game changer in my life. So this is the soybean oil, vegetable oil, canola oil. You look at safflower oil, sunflower oil, you look at the oils that are in the packaged foods, look at the ingredients list. Almost 95% of the packaged foods in this country, even the ones that are organic, even the ones that are deemed and look healthy, have vegetable oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, palm seed oil. All of these oils create massive amounts of inflammation in your gut that then travel up to your brain. Your gut is like your second brain, and you need to have a healthy gut if you're going to have a healthy brain and get rid of your brain fog. So, me eliminating seed oils allowed my gut to actually heal, and it allowed my brain to then heal, and that completely got rid of the brain fog for me. Now I don't have to be self-conscious about having conversations with my wife or with my clients or with my friends. I can actually follow through the conversation. I know what's going on. I have word recollection. I can remember names, and I have stable mental energy all throughout the day because of those key three things: getting rid of the gluten, reducing the sugar, getting rid of the carbs, and eliminating the seed oils. And this had a huge transformative effect on my body. So those are the steps that I took to getting rid of brain fog, healing my brain. The body has an amazing power to heal. I hope you're taking notes, and I hope this serves you. If you found this helpful, hit the like and subscribe button below. My name is Dr. Forrest Sauer, and I'll be speaking with you soon. Take care. Bye.